Hey guys, how's it going? So in today's chat, I'd like to share some insights and experiences around when you really don't feel like taking action. So firstly, I'll apologize for the energy levels. I'm actually recovering from the flu. And I was actually going through an experience of resistance around taking action because I'm in the recovery stages and I'm feeling really low energy. So I thought this would be a great time to share this insight actually. So there's quite a lot of nuance to this, but let me explain. But I think the main thing is like when you're feeling a lot of resistance for whatever reason, it could be a task that sometimes you're quite good with. Like sometimes you take it on very lightly, for whatever reason you're in a good energy, your state of mind is clear, and you can do it, no problem. And then at other times there's this heaviness, this burden. Maybe there's thoughts of fear or doubt or self-judgment, or maybe there's a projection into the future of what could go wrong, or potentially like if you take action from this state of mind, you're wasting your time. This advice might be a bit counterintuitive, but it's very effective, although it's very, very simple. And I find that not many people, like I've taken my clients through this quite a lot, and they're just astounded by how simple and yet effective it is, But whenever you're feeling that heaviness, don't take action yet, okay? So let's say you still have the intention that you want to have a productive day and you do want to take action. So let's just put that intention over here on this corner. So it's still there, you've got the intention, that's good. But then let's say, on this side of things, or here, your mind is extremely noisy, or there's just this all-encompassing feeling of heaviness and burden, and you just really don't feel like you're in a state of mind to take action. I would say don't take action through that state of mind, because the chances of effective action, it's not very likely, because you're kind of forcing yourself to take action through that state of mind. And if you've seen any of my grounding videos, I talk about how it's kind of like we shake up the snow globe and then we're trying to take action through all that snow. And so the action won't necessarily be super, super effective. But, and this is also another form of action, if you can instead sit with your experience, your subjective experience in the moment, right? And just be with it, like bring as much presence as you can, and have the willingness to sit with your experience. A very incredible thing will happen. Over time, your mind will settle, for sure. And I think one of the reasons why most people don't really ever get to experience this is because when they feel that heaviness or their burden, right, they either go straight into forcing themselves to take action, or they go into procrastination where they just don't do anything at all. And doing nothing is not the same as sitting with your experience. Like doing nothing, which kind of ends up being like most people, from what I've heard of my clients, they end up like scrolling through social media and stuff, or like distracting themselves with something, which I've talked about distraction at length, for how if we allow ourselves to be distracted, it builds a momentum over time. It builds neural pathways, and then we kind of fall more and more into that whole resistance distraction pattern, right? So it's not procrastination, it's not distraction, it's an actual action of like alert presence and acceptance of your experience and what you're actually going through. And the simplicity of really just sitting with your experience and noticing what's happening in the body mind, like what are the thoughts that are going in the mind, and observing without engaging, right? So like not grasping onto them, not trying to analyze them, not trying to find a complicated strategy to fix them or solve them, or try a technique of positive reframing or positive reinforcement to make yourself feel better. None of that. It's actually much more simpler than that. It's simply just being still and just completely being with yourself as you're going through that experience. And what you'll notice, if you can kind of relax into the present moment and you can relax into your experience, over time the mind will settle and the energy will lift. Like that heaviness will become lighter and lighter and lighter. And then your mental bandwidth will open up. You'll have a lot more clarity in the mind, a lot more space in the mind. And that's when you can bring back that intention, and having more mental bandwidth and clarity in the mind, and that lightness in your body is a much more conducive space for effective action, inspired action, or creative action to flow through. So yeah, actually my advice for a lot of my clients when they're going through something, and I usually take them through this, is we just sit together. I sit with them together and we see what we're seeing, we feel what we need to feel, and we get as present as we can. And then over time, and every time the energy lifts, they feel a lot lighter. And then I'm like, okay, well, let's take the action. And then they take the action from that space, and it's much more effective. That's pretty much it. It's really, really simple, and it works. And I wanted to share this. I want to share it now while I'm actually feeling in that space of resistance as well, to kind of lead by example, because I didn't want to come on and make a video, but I thought this was a really great opportunity to kind of share this. And I did the same thing. Like, I felt that resistance, I kind of sat with it. Aside from the energy of how I feel physically, the low energy and like the flu symptoms, and the mental noise going on, just kind of like sat with it. And then over time it became light and light and light, and then it just like hit record, and then here we are. We're still taking action. So yeah, that's all I've got for today, and I'll catch you guys on the next one.